Hello, NASCAR and IndyCar fans. Welcome to Formula Pun Racer. Before I get on with what the title of this video is supposed to be about, it is with sad news to report that world-famous actor Robert Duvall has passed away back on the 15th of February. He was 95 years old. Some of you may remember him as Tom Hagen from The Godfather 1 and 2. Some of you may remember him as Arthur B. Radley from To Kill a Mockingbird in 1962. But I remember him best for playing NASCAR crew chief Harry Hogg in the 1990 blockbuster hit Days of Thunder, opposite Tom Cruise, Nicole Kidman, Randy Cousin Eddie Quaid, Michael Rooker, and even British actor Cary Elwes. So what you see here are custom-ordered cars that are part of the Days of Thunder saga. And these three, driven by Tom Cruise's character Colt Trickle, to which Harry Hogg's character that Robert Duvall portrayed is the crew chief of. Michael Rooker played Rowdy Burns driving this car. And who would have thought that, considering my first movie I ever saw Cary Elwes in was at Days of Thunder, I didn't even know he was British for a time, and his character is Russ Wheeler, drives this car, as some of you may know, and I'd like to remember Robert Duvall for his wonderful performances throughout his acting career, and he'll be sorely missed. And to think he died basically on the day of this year's Daytona 500, which was won by Tyler Reddick of Michael Jordan's NASCAR team. Yeah, that's right. NBA legend Michael Jordan owns a NASCAR team, and that Tyler Reddick's Toyota took victory in. Ricky Stenhouse finished second, but that's another story. And moment of silence, please, for Robert Duvall. Thank you. And I gotta say, it was definitely pretty fitting, considering we're talking NASCAR at this time, even though I usually do IndyCar, but it's just that I loved the movie Days of Thunder, even though my heart is with IndyCar and F1 over NASCAR, especially since NASCAR's not the way it used to be. But I gotta say, like, this year's race was definitely something special, and how that harks back to times when I would go to my great Aunt Betty's house to watch the Daytona 500 with her, and we did it, alright. And even now, like, with this year marking 25 years since we lost the Intimidator Dale Earnhardt at the Daytona 500, well, some of you may have noticed that on lap 3, if you were watching the Daytona 500, everybody stood up and did this in memory of Dale Earnhardt, whose car number was 3. And my great Aunt Betty and I, we did just that 10 years ago when we were 15 years ago when the world was mourning the 10th anniversary of Dale Earnhardt's fatal accident at Daytona. And to be honest, I miss my great Aunt Betty very much, more than I could miss my father. And all the times we would watch the Daytona 500 at her house together, because we never went to any races together, so this was a great consolation prize for us to do, and I'm so glad I did this. And so, Aunt Betty, if you're watching from above, hope you found that Tyler Reddick victory amazing. We were both also impressed with how, back in 2018, how Austin Dillon, Richard Childress' grandson, carried the number 3 to victory for the first time since Dale Earnhardt did. And for those who don't know, Richard Childress was Dale Earnhardt's team owner for many years until his passing. And who would have thought that the winner of the 2018 Daytona 500, Austin Dillon, would be his grandson to take victory. And doing it in memory of Dale is always a good thing. And to think that year, Bubba Wallace, driving for Richard Petty in his rookie year, finished second. So, two famous numbers in NASCAR racing, finishing 1-2. The Intimidator versus the King. Well, if they were still alive and one wasn't retired, but that's impressive. Bubba has yet to win the Daytona 500, but last year he did win the Brickyard 400 with a different team, with a Toyota-powered team, so congrats to that Bubba. Anyway, sorry for getting off on a tangent here, but at the same time, I'm just really disappointed and sad that Robert Duvall is gone, and my Aunt Betty before that, and it's just been really crazy, and I'm really bummed about this. Well, I'm sorry I got a little emotional there, but what can I say? Just, that's NASCAR for you, and like how I can't imagine anyone better to take on the role of Harry Hogg than Robert Duvall, and a great performance he put on. And we'll always remember that Robin's son is racing. Well, if there's anything to like make me feel better, just like his character did in Days of Thunder, time to eat some ice cream.
You're what?
Yeah, eating ice cream.
Ice cream?
Whew, that ice cream really hit the spot. Definitely need that. Godspeed, Robert Duvall and Aunt Betty. You both will be missed. Now to get on with the main topic of this video. Who's driving for which team in the 2026 IndyCar season? Before I get onto that, it has been recently announced a few days ago from this recording that Chevrolet and Honda have both extended their stay in IndyCar for being the main engine suppliers. It's just too bad we don't have Ferrari, Aston Martin, Jaguar, BMW, Lamborghini, and Volvo, among other manufacturers interested in IndyCar. That would be something, because they make quite a spectacle in IndyCar compared to F1, and I don't care what anyone says. Those said manufacturers should come to IndyCar. They are missing out deeply, regardless of whatever. They should just come to IndyCar, and that's that. But anyway, enough with that little tangent. For this video, I will be sharing with you who's driving for which of the Chevy-powered teams this year, and the Honda ones will be in a part 2 video. So, we will begin with the team I hate the most in IndyCars and pretty much rigs the operation, Team Penske. Once again, two-time Indy 500 winner Joseph Newgarden will pilot the number 2. Number 3 will be driven by his Kiwi teammate Scott McLaughlin. And if you're thinking the number 12 car that has been driven by Will Power for many years, that the Australian is back, actually, he is not. His contract has run out, and Chicago native David Malukas will take over the number 12. Will Power is out at Team Penske. Yeah, it's amazing to know that Penske decided to get rid of Will Power and replace him with David Malukas, who is last year's Indy 500 runner-up. At the same time, Will Power does have a full-time ride this year with a different team, so don't worry for you Will Power fans who have yet to know. He will be racing still. Granted, though, if he wins any races this year and I review them, you won't see a pie being thrown in my face on his behalf. Just only if Malukas, McLaughlin, and Newgarden do. It's going to be so weird, like, to not see Will Power driving for Team Penske for once. But there you have it. Like, once again, Newgarden, Malukas, and McLaughlin make up Team Penske. At AJ Foyt Racing, which has a technical alliance with Team Penske, Santino Ferrucci of Connecticut will once again drive the number 14 Chevy, and his teammate in the number 4 car will be Brazilian rookie Caio Collet. Last year, he was the runner-up in the Indy NXT series, and was born 1 month before his fellow countryman Helio Castroneves took his second Indy 500 victory in 2002. Who would have thought? At Ed Carpenter Racing, Ed Carpenter himself will race only the Indy 500, while his full-time drivers will once again be 2016 Indy 500 winner Alexander Rossi and Denmark's Christian Rasmussen, who took his maiden IndyCar win last year on the Milwaukee Mile. Unfortunately, if you're hoping for Connor Daly to be back with Juncos Hollinger Racing or any team at this point, unfortunately the young Noblesville, Indiana driver does not have a full-time ride. I initially would speak of Prima Racing, which would once again have last year's lineup of Indy 500 pole sitter Robert Schwartzman of Israel and Callum Ilott of England. Unfortunately, though, Prima Racing, we have yet to see if they're going to race in the IndyCar season this year because the team is going through some unexpected financial situations. So, will they be racing this year? That's to be decided. If not, that's too bad. Juncos Hollinger Racing has re-signed Stingray Rob for a second year, and his new teammate is the Rinus VK of the Netherlands. At Brian Reinbold Racing, which races only at the Indy 500 each year, they have one car lined up, and their driver is Bassingham, England native Jack Harvey. And finally, the last Chevy team to speak of, Arrow McLaren, which will have Denmark's Christian Lundgaard, Palo Alto, California native Nolan Siegel, and Mexico's Patricio Award. And for the Indy 500 only, they are adding a fourth entry, 2014 Indy 500 winner Ryan Hunter-Reay. Well, that's the lineup for the Chevy-powered IndyCar teams, and if Pato wins the Indy 500 this year, as I keep saying, this gives all his Mexican fans something exciting to talk about. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. If you like these videos, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel where you don't have to be a racing fan to get a good laugh. Once again, Godspeed, Robert Duvall and Aunt Betty. Miss you very much. Next video, I will speak of who's driving for which team powered by Honda. See you next video, everyone. I'm Aaron Cylinder, firing on all cylinders.